Level 1. Members. Your alarm goes off at 4 in the morning. You don't reach for a gun. You reach for a cleaning brush. Your assignment is to scrub the bathrooms. You polish the boss's dark vehicle until it gleams. You sprint to the corner shop to fetch cigarettes for the older members. You haven't earned the title of gangster yet. Right now, you're nothing more than an errand boy. The veterans don't pay you any attention. To them, you're simply unpaid help. Your earnings are zero. You share a bedroom with 5 other men. You go to bed exhausted, aching, and underfed. But you keep your mouth shut. You observe. You put in the work. You're biding your time, waiting for the moment to show you belong. Level 2. Junior leaders. Scrubbing floors is behind you now. You've grown up. You're essentially a junior officer. Your mission is straightforward. Bring in money. You oversee card games and run operations out of empty buildings. You show up at construction sites to ensure they're hiring your organization's vehicles. When a competing gang tries to move product on your block, you drive them out. You begin to feel like someone. You invest in a flashy suit. You wear shades after dark. You've got a group of younger guys who follow your lead. But there's a condition. The money doesn't belong to you. Every week, a large portion of your earnings goes straight to your superior. That's the tax. Bring in $5,000 and you'd better hand over his cut. Try to pocket even a single dollar and you're stealing from the organization and thieves face consequences. You're making money, but you've also got a target on your back. The cops recognize you now. When trouble breaks out, you're the one in handcuffs while the higher-ups sit comfortably at home. Level 3. Younger brothers. You're no longer hustling on street corners. You've risen to the rank of younger brother. You earned your place. Maybe you did 3 years behind bars. You sat in a freezing cell and never breathed a word to the authorities. You demonstrated your loyalty. Now you play a guiding role. You're a father figure to the fresh recruits. You teach them the code. You show them the proper way to show respect. You demonstrate how to pressure a shop owner without raising your voice. The level 2 guys deliver the cash to you. You count it, take your portion, and forward the rest up the chain. You've got your own patch of turf. Maybe it's a stretch of bars or a cluster of gambling spots. You're a manager now, but don't get too comfortable. You're still a soldier at heart. When enemies move on your territory, the boss doesn't call an attorney. He calls you. You have to reassert dominance. You pick up an iron pipe and round up your hardest men. You've got respect, but the dirty work still falls on your shoulders. Level 4. Deputy. You've reached the rank of deputy. You support the men overseeing the younger brothers. Street brawls are no longer your world. You're working behind a desk. You swapped your bat for a computer. You come to understand that the organization is, at its core, a business. You oversee the front companies, maybe a freight operation or a garbage disposal outfit. On the surface, they look completely legitimate, but you know they exist to launder the family's money. Logistics are your responsibility too. When the boss needs to attend a funeral across town, you map out the route. You choose the armored vehicles. You position the bodyguards. When everything runs smoothly, no one knows you exist. But if the boss shows up late, the blame lands on you. You carry 2 phones. One for legitimate matters, one for family business. You never confuse the two. You're the person who keeps the entire operation ticking. Level 5. Deputy Headquarters Chief. You now run the office. You oversee the attorneys. When a soldier gets picked up by police, you don't lose your composure. You reach for the phone. You dispatch the legal team to the precinct to secure his release. You're also responsible for covering tracks, not bodies, but information. You incinerate sensitive documents. You clear hard drives. You ensure the authorities can never follow a paper trail back to the boss. Level 6. Underboss Aide. You stand on the balcony of a high-rise, gazing out over the city. The lights stretch endlessly into the distance. You gesture toward the Western District. That's our next move, you say. You've reached the threshold of the inner circle. You serve as the right hand to the underboss, the second most powerful figure in the entire organization. He commands the wars. You are his chief strategist. You now oversee an entire region. 5 or 6 crews report to you. They funnel money upward, and you pass it along to the underboss. Your central mission is to grow the family's reach. You study a map. A port city controlled by a smaller, weaker outfit catches your eye. You want it, but you're not going to send men in swinging. You're more calculating than that. You send in investors instead. You purchase the properties where the rival gang operates. You buy up their debts. You tighten the noose gradually. You choke off their income. They begin to panic. That's when you arrange a sit-down. You meet the rival leader at a quiet tea house. You pour the tea and offer a relaxed smile. Come with us, you say, or vanish. Most of them come aboard. You absorb their territory without a drop of blood being spilled. You drive an imported luxury vehicle. Your suits cost more than your very first car. You wield tremendous power, but you can never drop your guard. The underboss keeps a close eye on you. He demands absolute loyalty. If your reputation grows too large or your earnings climb too high, he may begin to suspect you're eyeing his position. You must shine, just not brighter than him. You're a warlord, but you still answer to someone above you. Level 7. Operations Chief. Laid out on the table before you is a city map. Beside it, 3 black handguns. They're clean, never connected to any crime. You are the operations chief. The time for negotiation has passed. A rival outfit from the west has crossed into your territory. Yesterday, they took out 2 of your people. Now it's time to answer. You're not the one pulling the trigger anymore. You're far too valuable for that. You're the one who decides who walks away and who doesn't. 3 young men stand before you, visibly tense. You hand each of them a weapon and slide a photograph across the table. He's having dinner at the steakhouse on 3rd Street, you tell them. Go. Don't return until the job is finished. They walk out. You sit and wait. You switch on a police scanner, a radio that picks up law enforcement communications. Then you hear it. Shots fired on 3rd Street. All units respond. You check your watch. Your crew has 3 minutes to clear the area before police seal it off. Your phone vibrates. It's the team leader. We're trapped, he breathes. A patrol car is blocking the bridge. You have seconds to think. You scan the map. You're playing chess, except the pieces are human lives. Abandon the car, you instruct. Move through the subway tunnel. A clean vehicle will be waiting on the other end. You dial another crew. You tell them to spark a brawl at a bar across town. A distraction. The squad cars peel off to handle the commotion. The path clears. Your team gets out. You don't sleep for 3 days. You survive on black coffee and cigarettes. You deploy more teams. You hold your streets inch by inch. It's savage work. When a low-ranking soldier gets caught, you let him go to prison. The rest of the family stays protected. Then the word arrives. The rival boss has left the city. The war is finished. You won. Level 8. Underboss. You step into the boardroom. 20 men in tailored suits rise immediately. They bow deeply and hold the position until you take your seat. You are the underboss. The boss is the king, but you are the prime minister. You manage day-to-day operations. You are the chief executive of a multi-million-dollar empire. You review the financial summaries on the table. The construction crews up north are falling behind on payments. The gambling operations down south are making excuses. You don't entertain excuses. You lift a heavy glass ashtray and launch it into the wall. Handle it, you say evenly, or I'll find someone who will. The men rush to their phones. They're more frightened of you than they are of law enforcement. You control the flow of money. You determine which elected officials receive contributions. You decide which development projects move forward. You oversee thousands of soldiers spread across the country. But your most critical role is to serve as a buffer. Law enforcement never stops watching. They are relentless in their pursuit of the supreme head. They want him in handcuffs on the evening news. You are the wall between them and him. You absorb the pressure. When investigators turn up evidence of a crime, you come forward. That was me, you say. You accept the charge. You stand before a judge. You spend 10 years in prison so the father can remain free. You do it without flinching. It's what the role demands. You are next in line for the throne. Everybody knows it. You have it all: money, authority, respect. But you're not at the top. Not yet. Level 9. Supreme Boss. 20 men are on their knees. Their foreheads press against the floor. Not one of them dares to lift their eyes toward you. You made it. You are the father. You are the boss. You've become a phantom. Not a single dollar from any transaction passes through your hands directly. There are multiple layers of people standing between you and any criminal act. You don't raise your voice to be obeyed. You murmur an instruction to your underboss, and within 3 days, an enemy simply ceases to exist. You sit across the table from the heads of other powerful families. Together, you look at a map of the country and carve it up like a meal. You determine who prospers and who goes hungry. But you know no peace. Trust is a luxury you can't afford. Your closest ally covets your seat. A specialized police unit exists for the sole purpose of locking you away. You can't take a walk in the park. You can't shop for groceries. You live behind tall walls and surveillance systems. You are a captive inside your own kingdom. There is no exit strategy. Retirement isn't an option. You will occupy this throne until your final breath. You chose this path. Or perhaps this path chose you.